Folks, hello. Welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. I'm going to be seeing my original gaming group today. We do this as a yearly pilgrimage of sorts, I guess you could say. And I'm wondering how many of you all are still socializing with the original gaming group. I mean, some I know are still playing with them. We transitioned back in 97. Well, we went cold turkey initially in 97, transitioned a couple years later to EverQuest and Anarchy Online and EverQuest 2 and City of Heroes and way too many other MMOs to talk about. Now, most of us don't do, or occasionally, but we still get the other once a year. So that's going to be the question of today. Do you still socialize with those gaming friends, the bonds that you made over gaming? In my case, over 35 years ago. Yeah, 38 years ago or something like that. I'm just curious because to me, these are the bonds that just don't break. But, well, if they break, they're going to break early. The core group whittled itself down in ways big and small, but this is the group that stuck together. And I'm just wondering how that is for the rest of you. So now that I threw that question out, you can answer that question as a comment on this very video or as a voicemail if you're listening on Anchor, or if you're watching this on YouTube, 347-509-5168. So we also have a few voicemails to get to. I know I've been remiss in getting to voicemails, but I figured I'll unremiss myself and get to some voicemails. So, first one is from Kevin.
Good day, sir. This is Kevin calling in from the Red Caps podcast. I've been listening to a bunch more of the Tavern chats and the YouTube videos. So you're doing a great job with those. And I was just watching the one about attracting younger players to the OSR. One item, you may mention it sooner, I just paused the video, but one item that I was thinking of as you were talking about it is Basic Fantasy RPG. You can buy an entire table worth of children, the books, and a set of dice each off of Amazon for about the price of like a pizza and some soft drinks.
Yeah, you can. And you could probably even go cheaper on the dice. Some Dollar Trees sell the dice at $1 a pack. You can also find it at other locations jacked up to $4 a pack with a new label on it. But in any case, they're $1 a pack. I ordered a case for 24, I guess around Christmas time, and I think shipped it was like $28. So really hard to go wrong, especially if you're talking about trying to equip maybe a whole, Cub Scout pack or something like that. Easy way to go about it. In addition to Amazon, it's also available at Lulu. So I'm going to stand corrected from my episode that we're going to comment on again. Kevin is having synergy. I didn't get a chance to actually listen to his voicemail, which was sent earlier in the week. And I did the Basic Fantasy episode yesterday. Wow, if I'd only listened to this, I would have had something perfectly lead into it. But I hadn't. So, back to Kevin.
So I think if you want to introduce kids in, the best way I've seen to do it is giving them dice. Training them into little dice gremlins. As soon as they have the dice in their hand, they're excited. And then the rule set doesn't overly matter, but Basic Fantasy RPG is full of everything that you could possibly ever need, more content than most people would run in a lifetime. And it's free as PDFs or cheap as chips off of Amazon. So anyhow, keep up the great work. Don't let your cap dry out. And I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.
Well, thank you, Kevin. And that's right. I mean, really, the work done by Chris Gonneman and company and team, amazing on that. So I actually had a friend of mine who watched yesterday's video. One of my friends is going to see later on today. Tony, reach out and say, hey, you already gave me the Basic Fantasy RPG, so say that for maybe your niece. Thinking pretty much like you. However, it is the new edition. I don't know what the changes are between the different editions, but it's a new edition, so Tony will get a new copy. Again, dirt cheap. I can always order myself or my niece another copy. So Kevin followed up after watching the actual episode I did. Again, synergy. It wasn't planned.
Good day, sir. It is Kevin calling in from the Redcast podcast. Just watched a bit of the episode on Basic Fantasy RPG.
You would have thought that I had listened to his first voicemail, and it was planned that way, and it wasn't. It's been a very busy week thus far, so I really didn't get a chance to sit down and catch up on voicemails until this morning. I just thought it was kind of interesting coincidence, but certainly a good one.
One of my favorite games. It's usually the first game I recommend to anybody who is interested in the OSR, for basically the reason that you mentioned of how inexpensive it is. I mean, it is a fantastic system. Chris did a great job, and all the contributors to the game did a great job. I love it from a just a standpoint of it being basically like open source software. The fact that everything is available for free from the website and cheap as chips from places like Amazon. I think it's a fantastic game to introduce children to, or kids to, if you have a gaming group at a school or something. Nothing seems to grab a kid's attention more than having a physical object and being able to buy an entire table's worth of books. And if you're doing it from Amazon anyway, getting some really cheap sets of dice.
And I'd like to second that, because if you're going to put stuff in and try to get kids involved in it, you don't want them passing that rulebook around, right? You want them having something they can take home and run with, right? And take home and read. My first experience with AD&D was after my friend Kenny introduced me to the game. It was a one-on-one session, and he only had the DMG, so he had to call a friend at 10.6 cents a minute. We're talking... what was it? I guess late 70s, early 80s, yeah, late 70s. And he had the DMG. So his family his grandmother had property out in Belmar, New Jersey. And I remember going there for a weekend shortly thereafter with the family. And I spent every waking moment that I could, or I wasn't going out and causing trouble, reading the Dungeon Master's Guide, reading it front to back, reading the Magic Guide. It blew my mind. So getting that into the hands of a preteen or a teen, not having one book shared by a table of 6 or 7, but having one book in everybody's hand. You don't need to get the adventures to everybody. You don't need the kids that plan on running the game. But if everybody has a physical copy, that in and of itself, you snag them. And again, Dollar Tree, the dice are $1 a pack. You can probably get them about the same on Amazon, but Dollar Tree might be very convenient for people who have a Dollar Tree near them if you can find the dice. I guess I'm assuming it's in the toy section. I ordered them online. I saw they were on sale, and I was like, I got to review this crap.
You can outfit a party of 4 with books and dice for the cost of a couple of pizzas. It's an amazing return on investment of just giving that out to kids and then having them be interested in the hobby. I think it's a fantastic product and a fantastic game. You were mentioning of what it's like. It's for me, it's really the differences that a person would see between Basic Fantasy RPG and say Old School Essentials or any other BX type game is very minimal. You will not notice that the average person isn't going to nitpick those rules. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. Thanks for shouting it out. I think it's a great game. And keep up the great work. Talk to you again soon. Bye.
I think it's an awesome game. And again, it is a real convenient way to lower the barrier of entry when it comes to the cost of physical products. And, you might find that you like the gaming, and maybe there's another OSR system that's a better fit for you and your group. Maybe this is the perfect fit for your group. Maybe this is the best fit. Maybe not the perfect fit, the best fit. But at that price, you really can't go wrong by checking it out. Now, we do have another voicemail. Again, talking about getting younger players into the game. So we will listen to that.
Eric, it's Jay. Love the podcast. Listened to the other day's show about getting younger players into the OSR. Gaming generally. Thought it was a really great show. Thought that you might want to connect with Ben Milton over at Questing Bees, because I think he's really down with getting younger players into playing D&D and OSR type games in general. I think you guys have mentioned connecting with him previously, and I thought he might have some really cool thoughts for you generally. Also,
I don't think I talked to Mike. I don't think that we've actually connected with Questing Beast. Professor Dungeon Master, we have, and he gave us a shout out. And we're trying to myself, Joe the lawyer, my wife, and Professor Dungeon Master are looking to get together one day this summer to go to Complete Strategist in Manhattan, and maybe tip back a few adult beverages afterwards, or at least get a chance to sit down and talk over coffee. Well, tea in my case. I don't drink coffee. But yeah, we'd have to. I don't even know if Questing Beast look at the channel and go, "Oh, ants! They haven't even built an anthill yet." Yeah, we're listen. It's a small channel, but it does have a loyal following. I listen. I've watched Questing Beast. He does actual quality work, as does Professor Dungeon Master. I consider this to be again somewhat a lot of what's it public access cable channels, right? But done with a lot of love and a lot of care and a lot of good thoughts. But the production quality is probably not the production quality of the bigger boys and girls out there. But we're working on it. Well, we'll see. I mean, I can only figure out so much technically. I'm lucky I got this working.
So it was a really great episode because you were really talking about positive things and moving the things forward positively. And I really like those shows. Just comment that I think you've been talking a lot about some news and gossip lately, and not saying that some things aren't newsworthy, but it's really great to hear thoughts and about how to move the community and how to make positive changes about things. It's not like gossip isn't interesting, but I like hearing positive things and about how we can make the games and the community better. So take that for what you will. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. And here's the thing with gossip or gaming news, okay? The community does not exist in a bubble, okay? When there is, for lack of a better phrase, bad shit happening in our community, a lot of times people don't know what's going on. Or they get their news from some of the clickbait sites that are out there that are just looking to get you to watch, right? Or get you to read their article on what's going on, and they don't go in deep. If we're going to cover stuff, and I say we, because generally myself and Bad Mike, we're going to go beyond the topical aspect. We're going to try to also go into what's going on behind the scenes, not just the drama, but we try to go a little bit deeper into the weeds. I personally believe that for people to make informed decisions, they have to know what's going on. All right. At the same time, I want to focus on the good stuff in this community, and not just in the OSR and tabletop gaming overall. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, it's the listen. Do Bad Mike and I do a weekly stick usually of what has Wizards of the Coast done now? There's stuff and shit. Sure, but we do it because they put out a lot of good stuff. It's not stuff that I personally I'm going to go running out and buy most of the time because I don't play 5e, but they put out quality stuff. There's no denying it. They're the rising tide that lifts all ships, and anybody who says otherwise is full of it. They're not living in the reality. So yeah, we will cover, and part of it is too is that realize that news events in the gaming community, nobody pays attention and thinks it is news if I announce, hey, there's 4 great Kickstarters that are out there right now, right? That's not news. I'm informing you about 4 great Kickstarters. But if I, mention that there's a new gaming company out there stepping on their private member, people see that as news. But I try to cover more than just the stupidity. Okay, again, there's more Kickstarters coming out. Mike and I have, I think, for the next 3 Wednesdays, Talking Crit will be focusing on bringing on game creators. I think Tom Wilson is next in line with his Back to Basics Kickstarter, and then Jeff Talanian with his Hyperborea 3rd edition RPG, which is doing amazingly well. Greg Christopher with Ambition and Avarice, 2nd edition. So we're going to have creators on. Now, does that mean that this channel will not cover events that happen? No, I'll cover them because they're newsworthy. And sadly, again, if it's an announcement of something good, people see it as an announcement of something good. It isn't news. If it's something shitty to hear, people count that as news. And maybe that's just how we have been geared as people, as consumers of information. Your 5 o'clock evening news always focuses on the bad shit because people zoom in on. If it's good shit, it gets piled in the back, thrown out at the end. It's a feel-good little article, but everybody throws that other stuff in front to get you in front of the TV. So maybe that's why it sticks out when we cover such. Again, thank you all for the feedback. I really do appreciate it. It's awesome. And I've been getting a lot of PMs, a lot of new listeners. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube, I ask you, if you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying yourself, if you think that I'm full of shit, you can still subscribe and be entertained, I guess. But if you actually like what I'm doing, if you like what my team is doing, Bad Mike, Glenn Hallstrom, Joe the Lawyer, my wife Rach, when we do Gamers Health, which would, tonight, but it might be a little bit later, depending on when I get back from hanging out with my goofball friends from my old gaming group today. We do this because we enjoy sharing with you. If you enjoy watching and listening to us share, subscribe, like, comment. It all helps. All right, folks. We are still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. I know I've been saying this probably for well over a year. Please use your common sense. All right. I've heard this going back to, I guess, the early 80s when I was DMing. I wouldn't. What do you mean the fireball had blown back into the corridor and wiped out half the party? I'm like, dude, you're still into a 10 by 10 room. But it's magic. It doesn't have volume. High school students arguing physics is always fun. But here's the deal. You say you wouldn't do certain actions with your character because common sense. My character would have the common sense not to do that if I knew what could happen. All right, well, here's my suggestion, folks. Use your common sense when it comes to the world of COVID. All right? I'm immunized. I'm not saying that you need to get immunized. That is a personal decision. Okay? You have to make that. You know your health conditions better than anybody else, except for maybe your doctor or other medical professionals that you deal with. Talk to the medical professionals that you trust. Okay? And if you don't have one you trust, find one that you fucking trust. All right? And get their opinion. You got to keep yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Knock on wood. I'll be back again hopefully tonight with the one that you can probably hear in the background blowing her nose. So Rachel, I'm sure, will be talking about how this cold has been fucking kicking her ass the last 36 hours. All right, folks. Latest.